get this recording button started. So tonight's class, I'm just going to slightly touch on what we went over last week. For those of you who wasn't on last week, we talked about the Feast of Dedication. And we talked about when we get together for these feast days, a lot of us aren't able to gather physically like we want to. And it's all part of the prophecy. Now, I spoke on the prophecy of Amos last week, Amos chapter 8. And I showed you in the book of Tobit how the end result started in the book of Tobit, where Tobit sends out his son during the feast time to find a brother or sister who is like-minded in the law, statutes, commandments of their heritage to come and feast with them. So let me show you what that son means in the scriptures, because I don't think I was too clear. I couldn't really go into it. But we're going to go into the book of Sirach in the Apocrypha. If you have an Apocryphal, we're going to go to Sirach, which is also called Ecclesiasticus. So there's two names that we normally throw out there. If you hear it say Sirach, it's Ecclesiasticus. Okay, that's what it is. Ecclesiasticus chapter 16, and let's go there. Ecclesiasticus chapter 16. This is what he meant by his son. Okay, Ecclesiasticus chapter 16, verse 1, and it reads, "Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children, neither delight in ungodly sons." Now this is hard for brothers and sisters to do when they got a lot of children that they love. The Most High don't look at your children the way that you look at your children. Just like when King David was selected, King David had 8 brothers. When the prophet Samuel came to select a king from Israel, he went amongst Jesse, which was King David's father, to search out that king, because he knew it was coming out that line. None of his sons were able to fulfill that prophecy of being king except King David. Although Jesse loved all his sons, it wasn't what the Most High was looking for. He was only looking for that one. And King David was a man after his own heart. So that's what it's talking about. Desire not a multitude of unprofitable children, neither delight in ungodly sons. It says, though they multiply, rejoice not in them, except the fear of the Lord be with them. That's a hard thing to do. It says, trust not thou in their life, neither respect their multitude. For one that is just is better than 1,000. And better it is to die without children than to have them that are ungodly. This is the Most High speaking. You see, when man speaks, people think that it's coming from his heart, and that he's saying it, and that is his understanding. But no, this is the Most High's understanding. He's telling you what he's going to be looking for when he comes on earth. He don't care how many children you got. If there ain't none that believe in him, he going to walk right by them. This is what the scripture says. It says, for by one that hath understanding shall the city be replenished. Remember what Abraham said to the angels when they went to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? He was pleading with the angel. He said, if there be 50 men in the city, will you not destroy the city? And they said, for 50's sake, we won't destroy the city. He said, okay, let me not trouble you too much. How about 40 men? If there be 40 men in the city, will you not destroy the city? And the angel said, yeah, for 40's sake, we won't destroy the city. Then he said, let not your anger shine on me too much. He said, but if there be 20 men, will you save the city? And the angel said, for 20's sake, I will not destroy the city. Okay, so that's how the Most High looks at it too. He's telling you, one man of understanding can save the whole city. One. It says, but the kindred of the wicked shall speedily become desolate. So therefore you have it. The Most High is telling you what that one man meant to him. That's why to find brothers and sisters who are like-minded is a very positive thing. Okay? You sisters that are out there, and you brothers that are out there that are struggling, struggle with the truth, the Most High is looking for you. He's looking for those who believe. This is what we have to understand. You can't give up in this truth. You got to keep going forward. You cannot stop. I don't care who you see fall out the truth. It could be the wisest man ever. If he falls out the truth, you better not stop believing in the Most High. Don't get discouraged behind that. You got to keep going forward. Okay? There's going to be people who are going to fall all day next to you. That's what a war is about. You go to war, it might be 3 guys that you knew on your side. You go into battle, into the heat of the battle. And one thing about a soldier is this. A soldier do not turn around and run. A soldier will go forward, and a soldier will go sideways, but he will not turn around and run the other way. That's why a lot of y'all, when y'all watch these movies, y'all see these old kung fu movies, and the martial arts, they be fighting 10 guys fight 1 guy. And they beat up all the guys, right? One guy that beat up all the guys, and then there'd be maybe 1 left, and then he'll turn around and run. Well, that's the biggest coward in the whole batch. Soldiers are supposed to stand there and get killed, not run. So that's how the Most High wants. He don't want you to be a coward in this truth. He don't want you to turn around. He wants you to go straight forward. Never stop searching for the Most High. Never stop. Okay? So with that, I wanted to finish off that from last week, give you understanding how the Most High is only looking for 1 man out of 1,000 or 1 woman out of 1,000,000. He's looking for that. He's looking for those individuals who will not be moved. Understand that. Let's go to Colossians 3:17 and let's get into this lesson. And the lesson is Israel, the family that was and is still chosen. The family that was and is still chosen. Let's go to Colossians chapter 3 verse 17 first. Colossians chapter 3 verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all by HA MASHAYACH, giving thanks to the Most High and the Most High Abanawa by Him, by HA MASHAYACH. Everything we do in word or deed is coming to the Father and the Son. All right, so let's get into this class, and I pray that you brothers have the balanced mind tonight, and I pray that you get this understanding and teach other brothers and sisters about this, because right now it's the end of the trifecta season. You had Halloween, you had Thanksgiving, or Thanksgiving, and now you got Christmas coming up. These are some strong spirits in the earth, especially in America. You go to China and some of these other places, they may not even worship or celebrate these holidays, but here in America and Europe, it is a strong spirit. Okay, let's go to Psalms chapter 110. We're going to talk about Israel, but we have to understand that Israel has a high priest and that he was spoken of in the Old Testament before he even came on the earth. So we want to touch on this and and I want to show you where our strength lies in these scriptures. Psalms 110 and 1. The book of Psalms chapter 110. And it reads, a psalm of David. David was our king. It says, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemy thy footstool. So what should that say? That should say what? The Most High said unto my HaMashiach, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemy thine footstool. So this is talking about HaMashiach before he even came on earth. This is Christ. You see that? It's already prophesied that this is King David. Now he was a king. Why would he say the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand? Who's sitting at the right hand of the Most High? It's Yahushua. In Hebrews chapter 8 verse 1 it says, he is the one that sits at the right hand of the Most High. Let's go to Hebrews 8. Hebrews chapter 8. These scriptures are true. Hebrews 8 and 1, it reads, now of the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such an high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens. See that? So who's sitting on the right hand side? HaMashiach. That's the New Testament that we just read out of. So let's see how we supposed to pray, Because even in the Old Testament, guess what? They already knew who to pray to. Even before Yahushua coming on earth, they already knew who to pray to. Let's go back to the book of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiasticus, not Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. And we're going to go to chapter 51. Chapter 51. Let me get it to you. And let's go to verse 10. Ecclesiasticus chapter 51, verse 10. I called upon the Lord, the Father of my Lord. Who is the Father of my Lord? Who is the Father of my Lord? The Father of our Lord is Yahweh, and our Lord is HaMashiach, that he would not leave me in the days of my trouble, and in the time of the proud, when there was no help. So this is talking about what? The HaMashiach. He's in the Old Testament. This is the son of Yahshua. Right? This is the son of this is Yahshua from the son of Sirach, talking about his Lord in heaven. All right, let's go back to let's read 11 on down to 12. There's some good stuff here. It says, I will praise thy name continually, and will sing praise with thanksgiving. And so my prayer was heard, for thou savest me from destruction, and deliverest me from the evil time. What evil time's coming? Now, we're living during the evil days. Therefore will I give thanks and praise thee, and bless thy name, O Lord. Throughout all this tribulation, we're supposed to still praise him. Don't stop nobody from praising him. I don't care who they are. Let them praise him. Even the heathen can praise the Most High. Let them praise him. The Most High will accept all praises. Okay. Let's go to Psalms chapter 110 again. And let's read 1 through 5. It says, the Most High said unto HaMashiach, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemy thy footstool. The Most High shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Where's Zion? Zion is Israel. Okay, when it says Zion, remember the scriptures tells you that you have likened Zion to a delicate woman. So it's talking about the people of Israel. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Thy people, see that? Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, in the beauties of holiness. From the womb of the morning thou hast the dew of thy youth. Now it sounds like riddles, but if you know the rest of the scriptures, you should know the precepts to this. When he says, the people shall be willing in the day of thy power, what day of the power is that? That's when he restores us, the children of Israel. In the book of Daniel chapter 12, he said that he was going to move his power all over the earth. He says nothing is going to happen until the power is moved. Let's get that real quick so you can see what I'm saying. Daniel chapter 12. Precept upon precept is what we're doing. Let's go to 12 and verse 6, because let's hear Daniel's petition. He was asking the angel to tell the Most High he has a petition. How long will it be? Let's read. And one said to the man clothed in linen, that was the angel, which was upon the waters of the river, how long shall it be to the end of these wonders? Then I heard the man clothed in linen, which was upon the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand unto heaven, and swore by him that liveth forever, he was praying, that it shall be for a time, times, and a half. Here it is. And when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people. Who are the holy people? There's only one holy people here in the world. That's the Israelites. It says, accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people. All these things shall be finished. So that's what's going on now. It's the power being scattered all over the earth. Okay? Finding out who they are. Finding out that they're Israelites. Finding out that we're supposed to keep the laws of the Most High. Ain't nobody never taught that till now. Keeping the laws of keeping the laws of the Most High. The church has never taught us that. The church is always teaching some form of philosophy or theology, but then they never really go into the scriptures. They never go into scriptures. It's always some form of theology that they're teaching us. Okay, verse 4, Psalms 110, verse 4. The Most High have sworn and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Who is the priest of Israel? Who is the priest of Zion? That's going to be after the order of Melchizedek. Now, these are clues to what he called his son in the New Testament. Let's go to Hebrews 7. Hebrews chapter 7, and let's read verse 3. And check this out, because this is a smash right here for those people in churches talking about that the laws are done away with. Listen to what this says. Hebrews chapter 7, verse 3. Because remember, Melchizedek was after the order of a priesthood, royal priesthood. And Aaron was after the order of a royal priesthood that what? Brought the law. Okay? Let's listen closely what he's saying here. Hebrews 7 and 3. Without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life. This is Yahushua. But made like unto the Son of the Most High, abideth a priest continually. All right. Now let's drop down, because that was how Melchizedek came into the earth. Without father, without mother, without descent, without the end of life, right? Let's go to verse 10. Drop down to verse 10. Now it reads, For he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. Who's in the loins of his father? Who do we all come from? Who did the Israelites come from? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And from Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, who are a great nation today. So it says, For he was yet in the loins of his father when Melchizedek met him. So he was already created in Abraham's loins. Yahushua. If therefore perfection were by the Levitical priesthood, for under it the people received the law, what further need was there that another priest should rise after the order of Melchizedek? Yeah, what was the purpose? Because if it was perfect, then we wouldn't need another priest, but it wasn't, because the people couldn't keep it. It says, and not be called after the order of Aaron, because he didn't come after the order of Aaron, because he was from the tribe of Judah, not from the tribe of Levi. It says, for the priesthood being changed to what? Judah. There is made of necessity a change also of the law. Did it say that it was doing away with the law? It says no, a change of the law. So what was the order of the priesthood? The sacrifice. What was the order when Yahushua came? He said, forgive your brother. You didn't have to do a sacrifice. That was the order. He changed it by making it easier for us. But yet, we still have to keep the law. That's why it says, there is made of necessity a change also of the law. Okay, so he tells us in Matthew 5 and 17, he came not to do away with the law or the prophets. So we got to remember that. So the law is still in check. So now, who broke these laws? Who broke them? The Israelites broke them. Who was the laws given to in the wilderness? The Israelites. It wasn't given to the Egyptians. It wasn't given to the Moabites. It wasn't given to the Ammonites. It wasn't given to anybody but the children of Israel. This was the laws that they were supposed to keep. Okay? Even to this day. So because our forefathers broke the law, does that mean that we're exempt from keeping the law at all? No. When the Most High comes back on earth, is he going to search out his people first before he searches out everybody else? Yes. If his people are not trying to search for the truth, is he going to bring judgment on them first? Yes. No excuses. Let's go to 1 Peter 4 and 17. 1 Peter 4 and 17. It reads, For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. Now they changed that, the house of God. What is the house of God? The children of Israel. That is the house of the Most High. Who built the house of the Most High in the old days? It was King David. Then King Solomon. Okay. It says, and if it first begin at us, the Israelites, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? So what is it going to be? Read the next verse, verse 18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, who is the righteous? And how are they moved? They were scattered to the four corners of the earth, remember? If the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? All right. So who's going to be saved? Repentant Israelites. That's who's going to be saved. It says, wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of the Most High commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing as unto a faithful Creator. The whole world's out of order, y'all. People have to acknowledge who the Israelites are to understand the order, because everything's out of whack. The Most High didn't fix everything yet, or he would have restored it a long time ago. It hasn't been restored back to the rightful owners of the earth. I got all kinds of books that says that the Israelites are going to be ruling in the last days. It's not even part of the Bible. That the rightful order is going to come back. Look at this, Psalms chapter 82. You see, even though Satan manipulated Eve and manipulated Adam, and after they contaminated the whole earth by doing what they did, from the soil all the way up to the moon and the stars, everything got screwed up. The children of Israel screwed it up even more when they didn't keep the commandments. They screwed it up even more. This is why Yahushua had to come back. When he came back, what did he do? He had to bring something easier for them to keep, so they could get back in line, to have mercy, to have grace, to have some understanding of the law. Psalms 82, verse, let's see. Psalms 82, verse 5. Look at this. It reads, they know not. What don't they know? They forgot their father's laws. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. What is darkness? Without any light of the law. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. See that? He's telling us everything is out of course right now. Everything. Yahushua didn't come back to reign on the earth right now. He just told us to repent and hold fast to what we have. Meaning the earth is still out of course, or else we wouldn't be getting ready to go into this chip fashion. You know, they got the chip coming out. They got people's minds all messed up. Credit fraud, mistaken identity. You know, all this stuff going on right now. The technology is there to do all these different things towards us. Right? It's crazy. We got alarm systems on our houses and apartments. It's terrible. I mean, you trying to say that this is the kingdom of heaven? It's not. Can't trust your neighbor, right? Don't know what they doing in their house. Cameras, you got cameras in your house. You thinking they're going to watch the burglar, but they watching you. You know, they monitoring what you do on your own systems. Mark of the beast right here going on. Let's go to so basically what the Most High is doing, he's telling us that the judgment that's coming on the earth is going to start with his people. Okay, so we got to understand, when you look at the judgment right now, like I said, we got our brothers being shot down in the street on camera now. We got, like I said, mistaken identity. We got people scarred from their past. We got bad relationships, deportation of some of our people. assault and battery on some of our people, molestation, murder, bad, like I said, false accusations on our people. So who broke the laws? And why is all this judgment on us now? It's got to be a reason. People are afraid, start clutching their purses when you come around. Got to be us. We got to be the ones. Or all these curses wouldn't be on us. It's evident. It's evident. We match up with everything the scripture says. Those people that call themselves Jews, they don't match up with none of this. I ain't seen none of them match up with none of these curses. It's just a form of a cross-examination and analyzing what you see in front of your face. It's right there for you to see. Who owns all the TV stations? Who owns all the radio stations? The commercial stations? You know, I mean, it's evident. Let's go to Jeremiah 31 and 28. 31 and 28. I'll wait for y'all to get there. It reads, Jeremiah chapter 31 and 28. And it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them, to pluck up, to break down, and to throw down, and to destroy. This is our people. This is what the Most High did. He plucked us up and scattered us. Then he broke us down. Then he threw us down. Then he destroyed our minds. And it says, and to afflict. Now we're being afflicted, right? With all kinds of stuff. Lupus, you know, all these different diseases. You know, we have to learn to cope with it. Magic Johnson been fighting HIV forever. You know, all these different things going on. It says, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith the Most High. It said he's going to watch over us and he's going to allow us to find the truth and build ourselves back up and to plant other brothers and sisters. This is what he's going to do. Let's find these in the curses. Deuteronomy 28:62. Let me show you that this precept goes with this precept with Deuteronomy 28. It's funny because when you read Deuteronomy 28:68 and you read all these other prophets, they just elaborate on the things that's going to happen in the future with our people. That's all they're doing, elaborating on it. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 62, and all y'all know Deuteronomy 28 is why we're here today. Deuteronomy 28:62. It reads, and ye shall be left few in number, whereas you are as the stars of heaven for a multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Most High thy power. Now, when you read this, a lot of people, when they say, and ye shall be left few in number, a lot of people think that the whole nation is going to be just totally wiped out. Like when you see the Native American Indians, they were pretty much wiped down to a minute. It's not just talking about that. Physically, it's talking about it, but also it's what we read earlier when we went over the scriptures. When we went over the scriptures earlier, we talked about Tobit and we talked about Sirach, when the Most High said, out of a multitude of sons, only one that follows the Most High is the one that he's watching. He said, don't praise all your sons, but only praise the one that searches for the Most High. So that's what it's talking about here. And ye shall be left few in number. These are the ones that are believing. Only a few brothers and sisters are going to believe out of our whole nation. It says, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for a multitude. Because at one time we all believed. It says, because thou wouldst not obey the voice of the Lord thy power. And it shall come to pass that as the Most High rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Most High will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. That's exactly what we just read in Jeremiah. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. Ain't that what we just read in Jeremiah? He said that, let's go back. Jeremiah 31:28. It says, he says in Jeremiah 31:28, he says, let's see, I'm at 32. 31:28 reads, and it shall come to pass that like as I have watched over them, to pluck up and to break down, and to throw down, and to destroy, and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith the Most High. Can you hear me? All right. Come. Okay. Yeah, so as you can see that you got all these things going on. It's like a drumbeat. It's the same thing that was going on in Deuteronomy. It's just these prophets are continually to walk through the scriptures telling you, okay, this is coming. This is coming. It's coming. It ain't happened yet, but it's coming. I can see it wearing down on our people. It's coming. Okay, because remember the northern kingdom went off too. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And the Lord, the Most High, shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other powers, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Those wood crosses, right? Those stone Buddhas, all those things that you see in the churches, right? Or in the other temples. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Most High shall give thee there a trembling heart. Look how they put the news on every day, and all you hear is bad news. You got people afraid to go outside. Elderly people are terrified to go outside the house. It says, but the Most High shall give thee there a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. That's why this society is pushing the security thing. They're trying to give you that assurance of life. They're trying to give you the safety. When you watch these insurance commercials, they always show somebody stressing in the beginning of the commercial, and at the end of the commercial they show them at ease, right? Like you put your hands in their corporation, and they will make you feel so much better. Okay? All these commercials are made that way to make you feel comfortable, but it's not the comfort of the Most High. There's no protection. Okay? People still have problems. People still end up in probate court when things happen, regardless of the power of attorney, because they start to make things confusing. They'll have power of attorney for medical expenses, but they won't have power of attorney over property. So a lot of our people don't even know the law of the land. So when they think they have something in their hand, they don't. And when that person dies, they go to get the property. Oh, well, sir, you don't have power over the property. You only have power over medical expenses. So now you fighting with everybody else in the probate court. So it's little things like that I'm mentioning. Now, what I'm saying is that's just the head of one thing. There's thousands of things that we're dealing with, thousands. And it's just education, and you have to be educated on that stuff. And a lot of us don't have money to be educated on it. And so this is just one of the things that the Most High is talking about. The way the Most High had the world set up was very simplified. Like he said, I changed not. His law stayed the same. They didn't continually change like the Greeks would do, or the Romans. They kept changing their laws and amending and appealing and amending and appealing. This person mad at this other person. Okay, got all kinds of stuff going on. Let's go to Jeremiah. Go back to Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 29. 31 to 29. In those days they shall say no more, the fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth are set on edge. What this is talking about, that sour grape is following the nations of the earth. That's a form of sour grape. It's not a grape that's wholesome like the Most High is understanding. And the children's teeth are set on edge, meaning that you're not settled in your ways. Okay. So this is the way our fathers were. They didn't have the laws or the understanding of the Most High. And so right now, the generations now are living in fear. Not in fear of the Most High, but in fear of man. Verse 30. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity, his own evils. Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. That's a part of this world. You eat that sour grape, you will be set on edge and destroy yourself. Whether it be cigarettes, whether it be just bad foods. Okay, this is what he's talking about. It's that sour grape. We're doing what our forefathers did. We're doing what the last generation did. We're not correcting it. Verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Okay. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they broke. Who broke it? The Israelites. Although I was a husband unto them, saith the Most High, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Most High, I will put my law in their inward. This is now. This is what's going on now. This is the new covenant. It's not the new covenant according to the way that the Christians think that it is. The new covenant is what we're doing, finding out that we got to keep these laws. Sabbath day, got to keep that. Not eat no pork. Okay. Not eat abominable foods. Okay. Not be gluttons. Those laws still are in place. So we're learning these laws and we're trying to keep them. I will put my law in their inward parts and write in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor. We're still teaching each other. We got brothers still dealing with each other falsely, in filthy lucre, in false balances of wages and monies. We still got brothers doing that today. Because they have agreed for things in this earth that they haven't purged out of their sin, out of their bodies. And every man his brother, saying, Know the Most High, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Most High. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. This is where we're all going. So this is where we are going towards the new covenant. But to those who will not change, this is what will happen to them. Like we said, the judgment is going to start at the house of Israel. Let's go to Ezekiel 9 and 3. Ezekiel 9 and 3. That's why when Yahushua came, he was stressing on the children of Israel, I come to bring a new covenant. I'm only here for the children of Israel. I got to get you guys straight. That's why he came. To set us straight and to tell us, look, the way y'all going sacrificing it, y'all going to put your own selves to death. Pardon me, Aki. Ezekiel 9 and 3. Ezekiel 9 and 3. And the glory of the Most High of Israel was gone up from the cherub, whereupon he was to the threshold of the house. And he called to the men clothed with linen, which had the writer's inkhorn by the side. The cherub is an angel. And the Most High said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem. Now this is all the Israelites. When he says go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem. Jerusalem means what? It means the city of peace. Yarush Shalom, right? Shalom means peace. Yarush is the city. So the city is the people. It's the people before it's a place. It says, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of all the stuff that we see going on today. All right. There's a lot of people who are not going to sigh and cry about that's what's not right and wrong. They don't have that mechanism in their body based on the Most High's word to know right from wrong. Okay, homosexuality, that's a form of wrong. But you know what? Those brothers and sisters can repent. They can change. But it's an abomination to the Most High. That's why he says those that sigh and cry. What? How they're going to do it out loud? Or they're going to do it inside their spirit? They're going to do it within. Because Because now if you say something against homosexuality, what? They could hold you up on all kinds of charges and stuff now at the workforce. You got to be careful how you conduct yourself now. This society is getting crazy. The stuff that they do nowadays, we used to do that back on the school bus back in the day. We used to have capping sessions. Now you can't even do that in the public eye. That's what they're doing on Twitter and all that stuff. People are capping against each other, and guess what? They're being brought up on things now. Stuff that we used to just throw our hand at, laugh. People take that seriously now, all that stuff. They look at it as accusations now. So now you sigh and cry within your spirit. It says, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have you pity. Okay, so this is the angel. He's going to go to the city, not of the other nations. He's going to start with the children of Israel. That's what you see out there on the media when you see your brothers and sisters getting slayed on camera and all this crazy stuff. It's judgment coming on our people, the Israelites. All right. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Who are the ancient men? Those brothers and sisters who have learning. Those are going to be the ancient men. Those who have learning are going to be held at a higher standard versus everyone else. So don't get, that's why I said at the beginning of this class, don't get dismayed, don't get discouraged, because the judgment is going to come on us first. If we back out, 70 lashes is going to be, or 70 stripes is going to be more than just 70 stripes. You don't know what those stripes entail. This is, and he said unto them, defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth and slew in the city. And it came to pass, while they were slaying them, and I was left, that I fell upon my face. Who is this that fell upon his face? This is Ezekiel. He saw the vision of this. The angel allowed him to see it. Like we watch TV, he saw a vision just like that. And when he saw it, he fell on his face because he saw all these people of Israel die. And cried and said, oh, my power, wilt thou destroy all the residue of Israel? Now the residue is those who believe and those who went back into the world. So will you destroy all the residue of Israel in the pouring out of thy fury upon Jerusalem? Then said he unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and the city of perverseness. See that? For they say, the Most High have forsaken the earth, and the Most High seeth it not. That's what people say. Oh, he ain't coming. He ain't coming back. You keep talking about this black Christ coming out the sky. He ain't coming. I'm tired of hearing y'all talk about Christ. I'm tired of that Bible. All right? They bluff you. And as for me also, mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense their way upon their head. And behold, the man clothed with linen, which had the inkhorn. The inkhorn meant that this was the scribe of the Most High. He's keeping note. Which had the inkhorn by his side, reported the matter, saying, I have done as thou hast commanded me. So listen, Israel, you can't, if you find out that you're Israelite, don't stop praying. Don't give up saying that you're not that. Don't let anybody say that you're just an average person. No, you are an Israelite. You better stay in this word. The only advantage that we have over other people is this word. That's it. Having this word is protection. So who are those that sigh and cry? Like I said, it's Israel, but let's find it in the scriptures. Let's see if it's actually talking about Israel sighing and crying. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. And let's go to chapter 1. Chapter 1, verse 27. Remember I told you Zion is Israel. Isaiah 1 and 27. It reads, Zion shall be redeemed with judgment, and her converts with righteousness. These are the brothers and sisters that repent. These are the ones that sigh and cry. They're going to be redeemed. Let's read down to 31. And the destruction of the transgressors and of the city sinners shall be together. What is transgressors? Those who transgress against the law, pursuant to 1 John. That talks about the transgressors of those who go against the law. And they that forsake the Most High shall be consumed, for they shall be ashamed of the yokes which ye have desired. And ye shall be confounded for the gardens that ye have chosen. For ye shall be as an oak whose leaf fadeth, and as a garden that hath no water. And the strong shall be as a tower, and the maker of it as a spark. And they shall both burn together, and none shall quench them. You don't want to be in that position. Basically, the Most High, he's throwing you away. Throwing you away. See? Let's go to Psalm 70:11. He's telling you, if you forget me, I will forget you. If he forgets you, guess what? You better fear him. He tells you don't fear man. You better fear him, one who could put your body in fire. Psalm 70:11. The Most High judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. You don't want to be the wicked. He said he's angry with the wicked every day. That's heavy. Look at this in Maccabees. Let's go to the book of Maccabees. 2nd Maccabees. Let me show you how the Most High makes a difference between the children of Israel and the other nations. Look at how the destruction hits us faster than it do any other nation. 2nd Maccabees chapter 6. And let's go to verse 13. 2nd Maccabees chapter 6, verse 13. It reads, For it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. Verse 14. For not as with other nations, whom the Most High patiently forbeareth to punish, he waits to punish the other nations, till they become to the fullness of their sins. So dealeth he with us. So if he's not punishing these other nations, guess who he's punishing right away? Us. Just like he told Abraham about the 400-year prophecy. He said, I can't bring judgment on the other nations until the Amorites have reached their full sinful behavior. That's in Genesis chapter 15. The Amorites had to reach their full sinful behavior before he could bring judgment on them. So if he's not punishing them right away, guess who's being punished? Us. On a day-to-day basis. For what? It's a form of tribulation. See that? But y'all didn't know that was in there, huh? Israel's treated differently than all other nations. Look at verse 14 again. For not as with other nations, whom the Most High patiently forbeareth to punish, till they become to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us, lest that being come to the height of sin, afterwards he should take vengeance of us. So by a whole nation, like we went into captivity, right, by slave ships, and we went into captivity by the conquistadors and the Spaniards. When all that went down, it was because our whole nation of people had sinned. All of us has sinned. That's what brought that huge destruction on us. Okay? A huge destruction. Vengeance was brought on us. But on a regular basis, we're catching hell every day. Verse 16, and therefore he never withdraweth his mercy from us. But when he punishes us on a day-to-day basis, our mercy is greater than any other people. That's the love that he has for us. It says, and though he punish with adversity, yet doth he never forsake his people. Who are his people? The Israelites. He never forsake his people. Did you see that? Look at Hebrews. Let's go to Hebrews 12. Let me show you another example of this. Look at Hebrews 12, and let's go to verse 4. Hebrews 12 and 4. Hebrews 12 and 4. It says, ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Most High, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. He said, don't faint. I'm going to chasten you every day if I could. That's how the Most High think. Right? Because we are his children. It says, for whom the Most High loveth, he chasteneth. See, in Christianity, it's the other way around. People think in Christianity, when they leave the church, oh, I better go back to the church because I'm catching hell. It's not because of that. You want to be chastised by the Most High. So you can show him that you love him. And that you know that it's from him. And you're gonna pass that test. It says, for whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. He receiveth you when he's chastising you. It says, if ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are you bastards and not sons. So all those brothers, that's why you look at these other nations and they can do no wrong. They be going skiing every weekend, snow diving, they be doing all this stuff and nothing happened to them. Because they're bastards. The Most High calls them bastards. Okay? No problems whatsoever. That's why you got to take things cheerfully when they come upon you. He tells you that. Take it cheerfully. Because you're gonna shine as bright as the sun once you get through all of that stuff and he returns. Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Most High has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. That's what he's talking about. He's going to punish us. He's only dealing with his children of Israel first. We are the ones who are supposed to bring this to the world, the understanding of the Most High. Romans chapter 11, verse 1. Romans 11 and 1. Ain't nobody else teaching this like this. Romans 11 and 1. Ain't nobody else but the Israelites teach this. Alright, it's the understanding of the scriptures. Throughout the Bible, he's talking the same song. It ain't changing. Romans 11 and 1. I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? This is what Paul is saying. He said, no, the Most High forbid, no. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Not only did he know he was an Israelite, he knew what tribe he was from. See that? He wasn't from Judah. He wasn't from Levi. He said, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin. This is Paul. Let's go to Romans 3. So you got to know what's going on here. Romans 3 and 1. Romans 3 and 1. There's another one about who the Israelites are. It says, what advantage then hath the Jew? Do we have an advantage over people? I thought we was the same. He said, what advantage has a Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Then he says, much every way. Much every way. Chiefly because that unto them was committed the oracles of the Most High. Unto them, unto us, the Israelites, he gave us the laws. Nobody else is teaching these laws. Unto us he gave this to us. The oracles. Like Oracle Arena. Let's go to Sirach. Let's go back to Sirach in Apocrypha. Chapter 33. Verse 3. Sirach 33 verse 3. A man of understanding trusteth in the law, and the law is faithful unto him as an oracle. You see that? So what is the oracles? Oh, the scripture says that is faithful unto us. Go to 36 and 14. Ecclesiastes 36 and 14. Ecclesiastes chapter 36 verse 14 in the Apocrypha, it reads, "Fill Zion with thy unspeakable oracles, and thy people with thy glory." So he's telling us, take these oracles, Israel, eat it, live it, believe it, trust in it, move in it. The oracles of the Most High belongs to us. Let's read 15. "Give testimony unto those that thou hast possessed from the beginning, and raise up prophets that have been in thy name." So that's our job, to raise up prophets. Not captains, not lieutenants, but prophets. Well, what is prophecy? Prophecy is Christ. That is prophecy. Verse 11. Look at verse 11 above. Ecclesiastes chapter 36 and 11. "Gather all the tribes of Jacob together." Here's the Israelites again. This is, "Gather all the tribes of Jacob together, and inherit thou them as from the beginning." So it's all about the children of Israel. This is the mystery of the Bible. This is what people don't see. This is the mystery. This is what people will never see. It's the mystery among the Gentiles. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 1. Let's find out what those oracles actually were. We read that it was the laws, but let's see, when did they get it? Deuteronomy 1 and 3. Because we see the movies, but let's find it in the scriptures. Deuteronomy 1 and 3. It reads. This is Moses. It says, "And it came to pass in the 14th year, in the 11th month." What's the 11th month? That's around into January, February. That's the 11th month. "On the first day of the month, that Moses spoke unto the children of Israel, according to all that the Lord had given him in commandment unto them." See that? So he gave them what? Commandment. This happened right before the New Year came in March. Right before the New Year's. Let's go to 4 and 5. So now we know when it was given, what time of the year it was given. Roughly around February is when our people received the law. Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 5. Deuteronomy 4 verse 5. That's why it makes sense that Christ was born around March. Because he came to what? To bring a new law. That's when the law was implemented. That's when Christ was coming into the earth. It says when every year on the Passover, when he was 12 years old, okay, but more than likely he was born around that time, the same time the law was implemented. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and 5. "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Most High my power commanded me, that you should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it." So he says, everything that you have learned, take with you. You have the oracles of the Most High. Okay, we're almost done here. I just want to show you how powerful the Most High made Israel when they believed in him. And that power still is here and is being moved around right now. Psalms 82 verse 1. Psalms 82 verse 1. "The Most High standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods." So he calls Israel gods. You see, it's a little g and a little o and a little d and a little s. It's not a capital G. So he calls us gods under the big God. Okay? What does gods mean? It means powers. That's all it means is powers. So we are a power on the earth. Let's see if Christ said the same thing. You know, you go to the East Coast, brothers be like, "What's up, God? What's up, God?" But they don't know it's not the same thing what they say. They're not going according to the scriptures. But yeah, that's a form of a similitude that these brothers are saying that we are gods, little gods under the big God. We are powers. John 10 and verse 33. Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 33. The Jews answered him, saying, For a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, they were being funny with this, and for blasphemy, and because that thou being a man makest thyself God? Yahushua answered them, Is it not written in your law, I said, ye are gods? If he called them gods, unto whom the word the Most High came, and the scripture cannot be broken. So he's telling them, in your own book, you call yourself gods. In your own book. See that? So Christ, he knew the law. He knew, that's why you have to believe the scriptures, because he's written all throughout the scriptures. Let's go to Psalms 82. Go back to Psalms 82. Psalms 82. Let's read verse 6 and 7. We are precepting today. These are precept, precept, precept. Psalms 82, verse 6. It says, They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. That was 5. Verse 6. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Who are the children of the Most High? Yasharallah, Israel. But ye shall die like men. So how can gods die? He's telling us that we are little gods as long as we put the laws. Listen, he gave us the laws from heaven. If we take those laws and put in us, we are little gods. We have heavenly laws within us. It says, but ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. How are you going to die like men? By not keeping the laws. Arise, O power, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Okay? So, this is what it's talking about. It says that we are going to inherit all nations if what? If we keep the laws. Let's go to 1 Chronicles 21. Show you how powerful we are. And when we don't keep the laws, how quick judgment comes on us. This is how fast, like we read in the book of Maccabees, how he brings judgment on us quickly. This is what King David. Look at what he did. He did something that you're not supposed to ever do. You're never supposed to number Israel unless you go into war. And that's why when they do the census, they put black on there, they put Negro, they put Latino. That census, they're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to be numbering us. It says that we are going to be like the sands of the sea. How can you number Israel? It says here, 1 Chronicles chapter 21, verse 1. And Satan stood up against Israel. What does that mean? Satan went to the Most High to complain. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. Okay? And David said to Joab and to the rulers of the people, Go, number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, that I may know it. So he was never supposed to number Israel. When he did that, David stood up. Why was he numbering them? To get taxes from the children of Israel. He wanted to see how many people he could get money from to build the temple of the Most High, when he was never supposed to do that. Joab, his servant, it says, and Joab answered, the Most High make his people 100 times so many more as they be. But my lord the king, are they not all my lord's servants? Why then doeth my lord require this thing? So Joab knew something. He knew that King David wasn't supposed to do this. His servant. It says, why will he, because of a trespass to Israel? Why is he bringing this trespass on Israel? Even the servant knew that he wasn't supposed to do this. Nevertheless, the king's word prevailed against Joab. So he still, just because the king said it, he had to go do it. Wherefore Joab departed and went throughout all Israel and came to Jerusalem. And Joab gave the sum of the number of the people unto David. Then all they of Israel were 1,000,000 and 100,000 men that drew sword. And Judah was 460,010 men and drew sword. But Levi and Benjamin counted he not among them, for the king's words was abominable to Joab. So Joab thought he would be slick and thought he'd keep the law from the King David and not number Levi. But then he turned around and didn't number Benjamin. Now that's a law, not to number Levi. Okay? We are not supposed to number the children of Levi. But he did it anyway. Let's go to 1 Chronicle 1:45. Let's find out. Is it 1 Chronicle? I'm trying to remember. Let's see. There's a verse in here where it tells you we are not supposed to number the children. Yeah, I think it's in Numbers. Numbers chapter 10. This verse 10. Let me find it real quick. Hold on, Akio. It's important. A lot of people don't know that's why King David went off. Numbers 1:47. Numbers chapter 1:47. Numbers chapter 1 verse 47. It reads, "But the Levites after the tribe of their fathers were not numbered among them." Okay, so you can name all the children of Israel as long as you don't number the tribe of Levi. You're not supposed to number the priests. Okay, you're not supposed to number them. It's important not to number children of Levi because of this right here. But see, he thought he would not number the children of Benjamin too. Why did he not number the children of Benjamin? Because Benjamin was a wicked nation of Israelites. Remember, Benjamin, a lot of them were homosexuals in Judges chapter 19. And they required men, they were trying to rape prophets that came through the city. So he despised the tribe of Benjamin at that time. And they were a small nation at that time too. They had to, it tells you in Judges that they had to take women of the other tribes in order to keep their nation going. Okay? Or else they wouldn't have never had any sons. So they were a small nation, so that's why he didn't number Benjamin. So that right there caused what? Satan to stand up, report it to the Most High. The Most High sent the angel. If you read verse 15, it says, "And the Most High sent the angel unto Jerusalem to destroy it. And as he was destroying, the Most High beheld, and he repented him of the evil, and said to the angel that destroyed, It is enough. Stay now thy hand. And the angel of the Most High stood by the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite." So this angel that came down probably came in the form of a tornado or a hurricane or a plague. That's how angels come. Like when you read in the book of Revelation how the angel brought the sixth horn, blew the sixth horn, or blew the fifth horn and brought the plagues. They all had their certain thing to bring on earth, pursuant to what the Most High wanted. Let's go to 1 Ezra. We got about 4 more verses, Akim and Aquas, and we'll end it right there. I knew I had a lot to bring out tonight, so I just wanted to get through it to show you the difference between us and other nations. That Israel is highly, highly important to the Most High, and He's only going to take a remnant of Israel, those that believe and that stay focused. 1 Ezra 6:58. Let's go there. 1 Ezra chapter 6 and 58. Is that what I want? 2 Ezra probably. 2 Ezra 6 and 58. Yeah, this, listen to how these prophets complain to the Most High. Alright, 2nd Ezra 6 and 58. It says, "But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn," we are the firstborn of all the other nations, "thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover are given into their hands." Whose hands? The heathen. "If the world now be made for our sakes," because we're catching all this tribulation, right? And we don't think nothing belongs to us, but it's the judgment of the Most High. It says, "If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?" Why we got to keep working for everybody? How come we can't be the bosses of all these jobs? You know, how come we can't bring in fold after fold after fold buckets of money? You know, that's how we look at things in the society, but it's not for us. It's not our time. It's not our time. When you read Deuteronomy 28:68, it talks about how we're going to be slaves, given as bondmen and bondwomen. Okay? Jeremiah chapter 3 verse 14 says he's going to take one from a city and two from a family. So it's only going to be a few of us that believe. Okay? When is it going to be the end? Let's go to 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. Let's start at 8. Verse 7. Let's start at 7. It says, "Then answered I," this is another prophet complaining to the Most High. This is Ezra's. "Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau." So this angel is taking them all the way back to Jacob and Esau. "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand." Other question Ezra asked thou not. So that's why I keep telling you, this is the time of our tribulation. Esau is the end of the world. Esau's one ruling. And who's between Esau? It's us, the Israelites. Everybody that Esau has put in the corner is the Negroes and Native American Indians in the Issachar. All right, he put everybody, all of those in a corner. But we're betwixt. The whole world is looking at us. When you look at the whole world today on the news, there's only 3 sons that you see in the news more than anybody. You see Esau, you see Ishmael, and you see Israel. Those 3. Those are the ones that we're dealing with on a regular basis on the news, TV, day-to-day current events. Okay? And so with that,
"This is the word of the Lord of hosts. I took you from the pastures and from following the sheep to be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone, and have destroyed all the enemies in your path. I will make you a great name among the great ones of the earth. I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will plant them, and they shall dwell in their own land.